Somewhere in the suburbs of the GTA, on any quiet morning, a man is standing in the cereal aisle at Loblaws doing math in his head. He puts the name brand box back on the shelf and reaches for the store label to save $2. And here is the strange part. On paper, this man is a millionaire. His detached home has quietly climbed in value for 2 decades. The bank statement says he is one. The spreadsheet says he is wealthy, but his wallet is telling a completely different story. Welcome to the Millionaire Mirage, the great Canadian illusion of 2026, where millions of homeowners have never looked richer on paper and never felt more broke at the till. Because here is the truth. Nobody prints on the property assessment. Bricks and mortar do not buy bread. Let us talk about where your money actually lives. For the average Canadian household, real estate makes up more than half of total net worth. But for the middle class, the families who are not sitting on a stock portfolio, the number is far uglier. For millions of them, 70% of everything they own is locked inside the walls of a single building. And when 70% of your wealth is locked in the walls, you do not really own a home. You are the caretaker of a frozen asset. Think about what that actually means. Picture that you own a literal mountain of gold. It is yours, every ounce of it. You can see it from your kitchen window. But there is one rule. You are not allowed to mine it. You cannot chip off a single piece to spend. You have all the status of a king with a mountain of gold, and none of the gold ever reaches your pocket. Now here's the cruel twist. That mountain is not free to hold. Every single day, you carry a heavy rucksack up its slope. Inside that rucksack is the mortgage payment, the property tax bill, and the home insurance. You carry that weight every morning, whether the gold goes up in value or down. The mountain makes you look rich. The rucksack keeps you poor. That is the entire trap in one image. So what do people do when the gold is trapped, but the bills keep coming? They reach for the ATM built into their own house, the HELOC. In 2026, Canadians are carrying a record, roughly $230 billion in outstanding home equity lines of credit, the highest level in years. And for a lot of families, the HELOC has stopped being an emergency tool and quietly become a lifestyle. It funds the appearance of a life they cannot actually afford. The leased truck in the driveway, the boat that gets used 4 weekends a year, the vacation posted online. It all looks like success, but it is borrowed from the walls. And this is the part the boat salesman never mentions. At today's rate of around 5.5%, that borrowing is not a bridge. It is a permanent equity siphon. Every dollar you pull out is a dollar that now costs you interest for years. A slow, quiet drain on your future freedom. You are not spending your wealth. You are renting it back from the bank, forever. Now let us stress test this life, because a real financial plan is not judged on a good day, it is judged on a bad one. Imagine it is the start of the work week. You go down to the basement and the carpet is soaked, or you look up and the roof is failing. The contractor gives you the number, $4,000, and it cannot wait. For a family with liquid savings, that is annoying. A weekend ruined. For a family that is house rich but margin poor, that same $4,000 is not an inconvenience. It is a financial heart attack. There is no cash to absorb it. So the only way to survive it is more debt. You are a paper millionaire who has to borrow to fix your own roof. That is not wealth. That is fragility, wearing a nice postal code. And now for the number that should keep you up at night, the opportunity cost. Let us take just $300,000 of that debt equity, the money sitting silent inside your walls, earning you nothing you can actually spend. Now imagine it was not trapped. Imagine it was inside a low-cost global ETF held in your TFSA. Based on the long-run average of global markets, that same $300,000 would be working for you, generating somewhere in the range of $20,000 a year. And because it is inside a TFSA, the CRA does not touch a cent of that growth, liquid, tax-free, yours. Sit with that contrast. One version of you has debt equity, impressive, silent, and useless in an emergency. The other version has a living market, money that breathes, grows, and shows up when you need it. Same dollars, completely different life. This is the feeling so many Canadians wake up to on any quiet morning. The slow realization that you are real estate wealthy, but life poor. That the biggest number on your net worth statement is the one number you are least able to touch. And it gets worse, because success in this country now comes with its own tax. Not the kind the CRA sends you, the kind the House sends you. Property taxes that climb every single year, whether your income does or not. And the luxury markup? where you call 3 contractors for the same repair, and every quote comes in high because they saw your address, they saw the neighborhood, and they priced you like a landmark instead of a homeowner. The more your home is worth on paper, the more expensive it becomes to simply keep it standing. You are being taxed and charged for the privilege of guarding a vault you are not allowed to open. So what is the way out? It is not magic. It is a strategy most Canadians are too emotionally attached to consider. Strategic downsizing. Here is the raw math. A 5-bedroom detached home in the GTA or across the Lower Mainland is holding an enormous, frozen amount of your net worth hostage. But that same lifestyle, a comfortable, beautiful home, costs a fraction of the price in a value town. Move from the GTA to a place like Kingston or out toward the prairies, and you do not just change your address. You unlock the gap. That difference between what your trapped home is worth and what a great home actually costs, that gap can be hundreds of thousands of dollars. And unlike the mountain of gold, that money is finally liquid, finally free, finally yours to invest, to spend, to retire on. You are not giving up wealth. You are converting it from a statue into a river. And I know exactly what you are thinking right now, because almost everyone does. This is not just a building. This is where the kids grew up. This is Sunday dinners, and the little marks on the door frame measuring how tall they got. I am not asking you to throw any of that away. But I am asking you to be honest about one hard thing. A house cannot love you back. It cannot fund your retirement. It cannot sit beside you when you are old. And it will not care if you spend your final years quietly rationing at the grocery store just to keep it standing. The wealthiest Canadians do not cling to the biggest house on the street. They make cold, deliberate moves at the right moment, and they let the asset serve the life, never the other way around. Downsizing is not surrender. It is the single most powerful financial decision that most people never give themselves permission to make. So let us land the plane. For a generation, wealth in this country was measured by the size of your lot and the height of your ceilings. That era is over. In 2026, real wealth is not about the walls around you. It is about your liquid resilience, your ability to take a $4,000 hit without borrowing, to fund your retirement without selling your only asset in a panic, to say yes to your own life. True freedom was never a place to park your financed car in a driveway you are still paying for. True freedom is options. It is the quiet power of assets that actually answer when you call them. So the real question is not how much your home is worth. The real question is this. If life knocked on your door tomorrow, how much of your wealth would actually come to the door? And how much of it is still trapped, silent, in the walls? Because a house you cannot touch is not freedom. It is just a very expensive place to feel poor. If this video helped, make sure to like and hit subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.